All right, so what we have here is we have a breakdown of the cover four. So this is long touchdowns against the cover four. Last year we used to do something different, but this is Madden 18, so obviously things have changed about the game. The coverages have changed, and the way that the players react, and certain things like that. You know, how they cover corner routes and so on and so forth. So this is the same setup as last year. So we have that offset tight end, which I will put in the description. And you got to switch it to the HB1 to get the personnel correct, to where it's 4 wide receivers instead of a tight end. But I like that formation because you also have available to you, anything with 3 wide receivers and a tight end, even though we're using 4 wide receivers. So let's just break down this cover 4 real quick. We have the 4 safeties high, of course, as usual. We can see them all here. And this is going to be, I hate to get out the cliches, but it's situational football. This is something that you're going to be using when someone drops into the cover 4 because, it's the last play of the game, or maybe you just need a field goal to win it, or something like that. But what we need is long, chunks of yards, basically, at the end of the game, and we got to do it quickly. So here we go. Without further ado, let me just show you the play first, and then we'll break it down here. So back to pass here, and we're going to hit this guy up the sideline behind both safeties for the long touchdown. Okay, so let's figure out what happened and why it happened. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So we obviously have, and I'll show you the play in a second here, with all the lines and everybody. But basically what we did is we took the wide receiver on the furthest outside here, and he was originally running like a shallow cross, or I forget what they call it, drag route. But then we sent him instead up on the fade. So what that does is we have a guy over here running the skinny post, and he'll run that skinny post like all the way across the field. And then this guy here, which just happens to be Des Bryant, is going to run a corner route, and it's going to affect this safety, so we can get in behind him on the fade route. Now, last year we just used to send a guy up on the fade, and this guy, we could send him, just on like a regular out, and he would like act stupid and just like not pay attention, and he could get behind him. This year they play it a little better, so we couldn't just do that. We couldn't be lazy with it. Okay, now this is just a quick hot route though, so that's what I like about this play as well. It doesn't eat up a whole lot of time at the line of scrimmage, so the guy can't get set too much. It's just one hot route. Now it works against all. I've tried it against all. I tried it against the dollar, I tried it against the dime, I tried it against the nickel, I tried it against 4-3 so far. I have not tried it against 3-4, I will admit that. But certain things you have to do differently because they cover differently, right? Because there's the linebackers are in different positions, or there are basically no linebackers, or there's an extra guy in coverage, like in the dollar, when they take him off the line of scrimmage. But it works against all of those, so that's not really a big deal. But just, forewarning that this guy, normally on the Y out, he would run that like purple route, that like delay, check and release kind of to the outside. It wasn't working. So I had to, this guy would get covered. He would stay with him just a little too long, and you get sacked and stuff like that. So what I did is I just ran this guy the opposite way, so that the linebacker would have double responsibility, and then this corner route would eat up this guy, because the linebacker was kind of following him on the corner route too long, and this guy was allowed the freedom to kind of drift back. And so what we did is we took this guy, and of course it took that guy, and this guy took that guy, and then he got in behind him. And the reason that this is the play, and you can't just fade him sideways anymore, is because this guy plays it too well. And especially if that's like Earl Thomas or something like that. I couldn't get anything on Earl Thomas earlier. Now, against a cruddy safety, yeah, you could hit it, probably 40% of the time. But now we're hitting it with much more regularity, because of the skinny post that's coming all the way on the side, because this guy gets caught in no man's land, and he kind of bites on that post a little bit, just a little bit, and you'll see it here when we run it again. So now you get to see there's the opposite guy, and see the linebacker's now following him. Trust me, before he wasn't. And you have the corner route up there, And as you can see, that corner is going to drag. This guy's going to start to slow his momentum. Then you have the skinny post that ran all the way across the field. And right there, you can see him turn back in. Normally, he would kind of follow that guy. But now he's turning his head towards this guy because he knows he's running in that direction, right? And then Dak's about to throw the ball right there. So now you can see he's even kind of taking like somewhat of a half step to the opposite side. And then it's just too much. It's just too much, too long. You kind of fade it to the outside. You steer your pass to the outside, and he's gone. And, you know, it's a faster wide receiver. Terrence Williams isn't that fast. He's only a 90 speed. But I would suggest that you put somebody there that's, you know, at least of that speed. Des Bryant, you know, sometimes he's an 89. You know, he's not really a speed guy. You know, and there are several teams like that where you have a really good player like a Brandon Marshall, but he's an 85, you know, receiver, but he's got no speed. You know, it can be more difficult. Now, they get more separation. You know, they're just good at it, you know, because that's just their route running ability. But, you know, it's better with a speed guy. I didn't put my fastest guy because my fastest guy doesn't have great route running, and the guy will stay closer to him. You know how Madden works by now. But I just want to say that you get behind the cover 4. I mean, that's pretty. You're not going to find that very often. Now, again, this is nickel. So if this was like a dollar and that play worked without throwing the running back to that side, to that opposite side, so instead of doing this, he would normally run this route. So this guy would come open on that Rams Y out, that like kind of like gentle out. He's like a rounded out, and then that's a skinny post guy. But when you do that, when you send the running back this way, he does not, because there's no one to eat up this linebacker. So you don't have a check down there, and I'll show you that in a second here. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is what the play originally looks like. Okay, it's that Rams Y out, as I said. I'm still against the nickel, so then, as you can see, I changed the running back position, and I will fade Williams, and that's what it's going to end up looking like. Okay, yeah, there you go. You want him fading, not streaking. And then, so that's the play that I just scored the touchdown with. Okay, so I just hit it again against the cover 4. I'm showing you now. The last time it was the nickel. So I'll just show you what that play looks like real quick. And I'll break down some of this since you already know what the result is going to be. Okay, so now you can see the running back is running on his normal check release here. And the safeties, again, because it's the cover 4 and not the nickel, they react slightly differently. So I didn't have to do that this time, and I wanted to make sure. I don't know what happens if you run them that way. I didn't try it because I didn't have to. But you will see now we have a check down on this side. Again, this is situational football, so you know, I could throw him off to this side and get about 20 yards. You know, he'll catch it, and then you can, you know, kind of roll up. You can try and make a miss. You know, it's tough to do. But you can also get out of bounds, more importantly, if you don't have a lot of timeouts. So, as you can see, this safety here, though, he never takes a step inside because this is the cover 4, or I'm sorry, this is a 4-3 cover 4. So, you know, he just plays it slightly differently. He kind of just waits for that skinny post to come to him, which is fine. You know, we hit it over the top anyway. But what he doesn't do is he doesn't cheat to that opposite side where the guy is running that fade route. So it still holds him in place. It still freezes him. It just doesn't, he's just not as wide open as you can see. But we can still drop it over the top of him, and we can still get, you know, you're not going to score a touchdown every time. Sometimes he'll play a little better. He'll jump and tackle his feet. I mean, you played Madden. He might push you out of bounds. You know, but maybe all you need is a field goal, you know, and if you don't, this still gives you the opportunity for the touchdown. It's a great play. I just want to say that something that you should remember about this play is that if you're throwing it over the top of the defense like that, it takes a long time. So it helps having the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. That's, you know, the team that I usually use anyway, so it doesn't really affect me. But there are several times, I mean, I'm playing against the Eagles right now, you know, because it just starts you up against an opponent like that. But I've tried it against, you know, better teams, the Giants and the Seahawks. And the Seahawks are tougher because Earl Thomas is on this side. I think the Chiefs have Eric Berry on that side. I'm not sure which side he plays on, to be honest with you. I feel like he's a free safety, though. And, you know, those guys are better, so they'll get to that side a little bit, which is why it's important that, you know, you use this specific play because the skinny post keeps them honest no matter who they are. But they will get there, sometimes to challenge it because, sometimes they make a decision. It basically gives them a decision to make, and I would say 60% of the time they take the guy that's coming in the middle, and the other 40% of the time, if they're a good player, they won't, and they'll take it to that side and maybe stop you even. But, you really don't have a choice at this point. So, it's a good play. You just get behind the safeties. It's all you can really ask for. And I look forward to getting your guys' subscription and, just drop a like on the video, of course. And, there are more things yet to come. This is my first one of Madden 18. So, I like the game. Any feedback that you guys want to put in the comment section, positive, mostly, hopefully, but negative, whatever. And then if you have any questions for me, if you want me to break down a coverage for you, let me know. Or if you have a formation that you like to run out of, let me know, and maybe I can break down that too.